Hola clase, es la señora Deepak. Yo voy a hacerte un video muy corto para explicar unas pocas cosas que algunos de ustedes están trabajando en la clase y tienen problemas con estas cosas. Entonces, en la pizarra aquí yo tengo modismos con tener y también ponerse. Um, es que está trabajando con esto en su libro de texto y están haciendo tarea de esas cosas. Ojalá que este video va a ayudarte con sus actividades, pero vamos a ver. Entonces, con esas cosas en la pizarra, yo quiero repasar un poquito de información con ustedes para empezar. All right, so I said, welcome to this video. This is just a short explanation that I want to make for you guys because I want to try to help break this down for you guys. I know that some of you are doing well with this and some of you are struggling a little bit, and so I just wanted to try to clear things up for you as much as I can. I'm hoping that this video will be helpful, but I guess we'll see. This is just a review of the expressions with tener and then ponerse, where we're putting them into the constructed phrases. So both of these two things are coming out of your Voces textbook, chapter 15. It was the pages with the same names. Okay, so in case you're wondering where this information came from, you read through it when you read the introduction to the chapter, and you also should have taken notes on it. But now let's actually go through it so that hopefully it will make sense. This part right here is going to be a lot of writing and explanation. If you guys want me to, I can make a separate video where I give more examples of how to actually use these when you're putting them into sentences and doing your homework. Okay, so aquí yo tengo el verbo tener, que significa en inglés to have, y aquí hay las formas del verbo. Entonces tenemos 5 formas: tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen, y el inglés está allá también. I gave you guys tener and what it meant in English, and then the forms of tener with it, with the English beside them, just to remind you how to conjugate this verb and what it means, because we have used it, but it's been a while since we've used it, and so I just wanted to do a general refresh. They also did this in the textbook for you as well. So what we're doing with tener in this case is we're actually putting it into expressions of necessary things that we have to do every day. So these are going to be more memorized things that, like if I asked you, ¿Cómo estás hoy? These would be responses that you can give me without using the verb estar. All right, so some of these you've already started to figure out because you say them and then I tell you how to say them. So for instance, like to be hungry, to be tired, no, not to be tired, sorry, to be hungry, to be thirsty, and to tell how old you are. Those would be the ones that we've used tener for the most at this point, because those are expressions to say, like, I have hunger, I have thirst, I have this many years. This is the idea behind tener in this case, and so that's what we're going to do. All right, so when we're making a expression with tener, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take a form of the verb tener, and then you're going to add a descriptive word. So what I mean by a form of the verb tener is one of these conjugated forms, depending upon who your subject is and what you're talking about. Okay, so I put an example up here for you, and this one's really basic. It's tengo hambre. So tengo means I have, and hambre is hunger, right? So I have hunger. In English, we would interpret that to I'm hungry. All right, so when you would use this is if somebody asks you, ¿Cómo estás hoy? Or ¿Cómo estás ahora? How are you today, or how are you right now? You would say, tengo hambre. Okay, I have hunger, I'm hungry. So this is how you're going to form these phrases, is it's going to be form of the verb, descriptive word, no matter what type of expression that you're going to use, using the memorized forms that they gave you on this page. So double check these on your Voces page, which I wrote as a note right here, because there isn't a good way to tell you how to remember these. You just have to write them down, practice with them, use them, basically put them in your memory and store them there. Okay, so I know this is kind of a quick run through of tener and using the expressions with tener, but we could go into more examples later if you want to. I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so then the next part that I wanted to show you, and I'm going to pull my board out a little bit more. I had to pull it out because I had a reflection that you can see. So anyways, and then I'll angle my camera. By the way, you guys are in my kitchen, so welcome to my kitchen at home. School is looking a little bit different these days. Anyways, here at the bottom then, we're going to get into Ponerse. And what I want to tell you first, before we even touch this at all, is poner is a verb that we already have. The only thing that is different about it at this point is the fact that it ends with se. All right? Anytime you have a verb that has se at the end of it, this is what we call a reflexive verb, meaning that something is being done to you or to whoever we're referring to. So this is also a constructed phrase. There is a very particular way to make these, which is what I tried to illustrate for you here. I tried to make it varied. That's what the boxing and the plus signs and stuff like that is, so I could show you how you form it. So the first thing that you're going to do is when you take ponerse and you're going to put it into a form. All right, so you're wanting to say to become something, to become angry, to become excited, to become happy, whatever the emotion is that you're going to attach this to, you got to conjugate poner. Now, at the beginning of your conjugation, you need to take your se, because this is the reflexive part, all right? And you need to pick the correct reflexive pronoun. So just to remind you what those are, I wrote them up here for you. We have me, te, se, nos, se. All right, so I put the English beside it. But these things are the things that we would put in front of our conjugated verb poner. All right, so we pick one of these, and then we use our conjugated form of poner, so whatever that's going to look like. Poner conjugates regularly, except for in the yo form. It is what we call a yogo, so it becomes pongo, and then the rest become pone, pones, ponemos, ponen. Okay. So whatever your form of poner is that you're going to use, you'll put that after your reflexive pronoun. So reflexive pronoun, form of poner, and then we need our descriptive adjective. So right now we've said something makes me become fill in the blank, okay? So whatever it is that you're becoming, so you guys did some of these activities already, so just to jog your memory, this would be your happy, sad, angry, mad, terrified, those kind of things, okay? So that would be where you would pick the appropriate adjective, and don't forget to gender code and to put the right number with it. So if it's plural, it ends with S. If it's feminine, it gets an A. We remember how to do these, okay? The thing that makes this a constructed form is now that we have what it makes that person, okay, we need to know the thing that makes that person that way, all right? So this is a phrase, I can't think of the words that I want, that relies on a clause, essentially. So this is where the cuando comes in. The cuando just means when, okay? So when something happens, okay? So after we do cuando, then we typically have another verb that's conjugated to represent the person or the object, okay? And I'll explain that. And then we finish out our phrase for whatever the rest of the sentence would be. So for instance, in the example sentence that I put for you down here, I'm just going to try to break it down for you bit by bit, all right? I have me pongo furiosa cuando no puedo leer. All right, so in English, this translates to, it makes me mad, right, or furious, or I become mad, essentially, when I can't read, all right, which for me is true. So what you see here, breaking it down, I have my reflexive pronoun here. So I picked me because this makes me angry, all right? So I become, so pongo I needed in the yo form because it's making me furious, mad. Cuando, when. No puedo, I conjugated my verb, right? This would be the thing that makes me mad. I can't read. So puedo is the yo form of the verb poder, okay? And I put the no in front of it because the fact that I'm not able to read is the thing that is making me mad, all right? So what you should hopefully notice as well right here, so I have puedo conjugated, but I have leer not conjugated. Remember, until you get into the more complex, compound verb tenses, you do not have two Spanish verbs side by side that will be conjugated. All right, so if puedo is conjugated to the yo form, leer is in the infinitive form. All right, does this kind of make sense? Hopefully this is starting maybe to click a little bit. What you see here in this example sentence is me just walking you through step by step. This is what your Ponerse expression is going to look like when it's all finished, all right? It has to have this, it's got to have this, it's got to have this, then it's got to have this, and then it's got to have this. Sometimes it'll have more after that. Mine did not. Mine just stopped at the conjugated verb because that was all I needed, okay? I could have continued the phrase and said, on Sundays, or while I'm at work, or something like that, and that would be an example of finishing the expression, okay, finishing the phrase. So if there's more that you needed to add into your sentences, make sure that you're doing that, and that would come at the end of the sentences. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here because I only have 15 minutes to record on this recording. I am going to make a video for you guys about the preterite tense verb and reviewing how to do that in the forms that we've already learned, and then adding in notes for the new ones, and then just going through and kind of like refreshing it, and probably give you guys some examples of putting it together. So stay tuned for that. If you have questions about modismos con tener or with ponerse more as you're going through your activities, please don't hesitate to let me know. Comment on this video, comment on the Google Classroom. Let me know if you're struggling, reach out through email. I want to try to help you guys as best as I can. I've already had quite a few people who have told me that they're struggling and that they need help, and we've worked through it through email. So I'm trying to be as available for you guys as possible, especially right now because I can't actually be with you guys. So let me know what you think, let me know what you need, and I will talk to you guys later. Adios.